Hello traders, hope you're doing well. I'm making this video to give a brief demonstration on our new indicator, which is auto harmonic projections ultimate. Similar to auto harmonic patterns ultimate, this is also made by myself and CryptoArk, and we both go on this script. In this video, what we'll do is we'll go through the indicator, we'll add the indicator afresh and see different components and what it does and etc. And then we'll have a brief look at how it differs from auto-harmonic patterns ultimate, and also we'll see how to make use of the script individually as well as in combination with auto-harmonic patterns ultimate. Okay, let's get started. Let's add the indicator to the chart. So once you add the indicator, auto-harmonic projections ultimate, you'll be asked for a trial key. So it's similar to auto-harmonic patterns ultimate. This key, the alert key, is required only if you want to set alerts, and also if you want to run the script for prolonged time on the chart. So the subscribers will get the alert key. But if you're asked for trial access, then you will not get any alert key. So you'll have to use the trial key, which is already there by default. So I can just press apply. It gets added to the chart. And if you're using trial key, you'll see the watermarks here, and also you'll see the run timer in red background. So let me also use actual key, which is actually valid till January end. So in order to set a key, once you already added, if you want to set the key back, what you can do is you can remove and add the indicator again, or else what you can do is you can go to settings and look for alert key, which is almost towards the end. You can set the alert key. So this is the key which I've configured for temporary purposes. So once you set this, see that the watermark is gone, and also the run timer has turned green. So make sure that if you have subscribed to the script and if you are using alerts, make sure that before setting the alerts there is no watermark, because if there's watermark and if the run timer is red, that means that the key is wrong or something wrong with the key applied. So if that's the case, then your alerts will not work. Okay, and let's talk about the indicator itself. So in auto harmonic patterns ultimate, what you do is you form X A B C D. You scan for X A B C D and see whether they belong to any particular patterns. But in case of auto harmonic projections, we'll not scan X A B C D, but we'll only scan X A B C, and we'll try to project D range. Okay, so you can see that this pattern is already formed. So it's actually showing a highlight little bit of line fills here, so that this is an active pattern. But you can see that there are other patterns which are like X, A, B, C, which is not formed yet, right? So it's not this pattern is not fulfilled yet. So you can see that it is still it's still showing without any fills. And you can see the PRZs, corresponding PRZs in the same color, like the line color is blue, and you can see the PRZs also in the same color. And if it's pink, you can see the stats in pink, PRZ in pink, and also the pink lines are here somewhere. It's actually the multiple color lines are mixed together, so it's a bit difficult to spot. But as soon as you get the pattern, you'll see the fill, so that it'll be easy to spot what pattern is joining what pivots and all. Right, and let's have a look at the stats, what we see here. There are two concepts actually, like this is a pattern, and these are the PR sets. A pattern is nothing but X, A, B, C, and a possibility. It's just not yet formed. Hence, only X, A, B, C can be considered as a pattern, and PRZ is all possible potential reversal zones. So if you see this pattern XABC, so it has multiple PRZs. So it means that three of the patterns can be formed in this range, but there's a gap in between, and there's another possibility of another pattern here, which is gap. And similarly, there can be more than two or more, three, four, or five, any number of PRZs. for a pattern. So what all the pairs that's available, all of them will be listed in this way. Okay, so if you look at this, and also appears it can have multiple patterns as well, like multiple pattern names as well. For example, have a look at this one. It has 5 different pattern names assigned to it. That's because you know this PRZ is an overlap of all these 5 patterns. It's not necessary that shark each pattern will have a same PRZ zones. Let's say here I draw a rectangle and say here in let me show it with this example. So let's say this is Gartley and this is anti-sharp and this is Navarro. So if that is the case, then it will do an intersection of all these things, union of all these things actually, and it will select the entire region from start to end, and it will show all the different pattern names. Right, so I'll just delete all the drawings now. So overall, ultimately, this will be the result of the PSZ. Okay, that's how the calculations are done. So the components are pretty simple. You'll see patterns which are not fulfilled yet. You'll see patterns which are fulfilled. And the PRZs, it will show in a different color for different cases. For example, if it is active, you can see that the fill here is more stronger than when it's inactive, and also the font size will be higher, larger if it's filled than when it is not filled. So there's some, yeah. So if the pattern is active, you'll see some, clear indications on the styling, such as this. And also, there are some state. We also do a different status tracking for pattern as well as for projection. Pattern status is different from projection status. So I'll explain this. What's pattern status? It's also there in the description which I provided. Whenever this pattern is formed, like let's say XABC is formed, it has identified a pattern. Now this pattern is considered to be inactive. Like whenever this pattern is formed, it's in an inactive state. And once the price goes below B state, then it's considered as active. So you can see that inactive is awaiting activation. So otherwise projection active means once it is crossed B, you can see that projection is active. So you can see this X, A, B, C, D. It's actually kind of crossing the B. So you can see the pink, the one in the pink is saying projection active, though it's reversed and went away. Still thinks that the projection is active. So it's saying that projection is active. The awaiting activation, the rest of things are all awaiting activation because it hasn't reached the B level. So and the last state is entry reached. Like whenever the pattern comes to a PRZ zone, any first PRZ zone, it is considered as entry reached. And let's say there are 2 PRZs here. So what happens if the price come here and then move away? Okay, so in that case, what happens? XABC price comes to this, it will highlight. And if it move away and hit stop, then this pattern will be removed from the screen. So you'll not see that here, but you will still be able to see it here in the tables. Okay, but the status will remain as entry reached. So once you start with once it hits the first PRZ or nearest PRZ, then the status will be moved to entry reached, and it will remain there until it's removed. Okay, so the removal can be because it's stopped, or it can be because it went away and completed the pattern. Like if it moves back to the sexes, it's the projection is removed, and if there are no projections active, then the pattern also is removed. For example, let's take the example of this pattern here. If price comes to stop, this PRZ is removed. And once the PRZ removed, there are no other PRZs for this pattern, so the pattern also will be removed. Similarly, if the price comes and hits the success, then the PRZ is removed. Once the PRZ is removed, then there is no other PRZ for this pattern. So the pattern is also a report. So this is a report. This like a brief report is the status of the pattern. The status of the PRZ is slightly different. So status of PRZ is either awaiting activation again. So when the price hasn't hit this PRZ, it is still awaiting activation, and when it hits the PRZ, it will be active. It's considered as active. Okay, and if it goes and hits the stop, it will be made as stopped, and if it goes and hits the success, it will be made as successful. So there are four status available for PRZ, and this is one: active, awaiting activation, active, stopped, and successful. Right, and you will see, like, in case the price hits this and it reverses to the success point, then you will see that in the status that it's successful and all. Right, that's about status of PRZ and status of the pattern, and that's about the usage of the step. Let's have a look at the settings a bit. Settings are most probably same as auto harmonic patterns ultimate. Search depth is how many pivots you want to search back. Increase this means you'll get bigger and bigger patterns, and also it will take more time. And error percent, the error threshold, like the pattern ratios are not cannot be really exactly as is. So we allow a little bit of error threshold. Some people will want may prefer to use lower error percent, and we prefer to use 8 as our normal error percent for all the scripts which we have. You can actually have till 20, I believe. Yeah, you can have till 20. So 20 means you'll see more and more patterns and all. Okay, and that's this. Zigzag lengths, as we see, there are multiple zigzags we use. We can alter a different, you can change this length to have different zigzags and experiment a bit on this. Trade direction, bullish and bearish patterns are all patterns. If you want to see only the bullish signals, just select only the long. Otherwise, if you want to see only the short signals, just select only the bearish ones. Classic anti. So if you want to, this is again explained in the auto harmonic patterns script as well. You can select individual patterns. You can disable individual patterns, or you can disable entire classic anti-patterns as a whole. Or you can also enable different type-based, patterns. So the patterns are actually, okay, hold this a bit. Yeah, patterns are actually divided between a type, and there's a bit of documentation on this. Please go through this if you want to understand more on that. Otherwise, I usually keep all the patterns on. It doesn't harm anything. But yeah, if you don't want to use a particular kind of patterns, you can disable them individually through a group. Okay, stats and display. You can disable these boxes by unchecking this, or you can also choose a different position for these stats. So what we thought is this is the ideal position because number of PRZs can increase based on the pattern. So we thought this is a more appropriate place to keep in the top right corner, so that even if one of them increase, it doesn't completely block the view of everything. Otherwise, what happens if you keep it in the bottom place? If this increases, it keeps moving up. The table keeps moving up and blocks the entire view. So it's good in terms of visibility. That's why we kept it this way. So the timer, you can disable it. It doesn't do much at present because we are not showing any close stats. So you can disable it, or you can just keep it on so that you know whether your key is active or if there's an issue and all these things. And also, if there are no patterns, you will not see any drawings and you will not see the table. So keeping this will help you understand if the script is working okay. Otherwise, you may think that there's nothing shown on the screen, so the script may not be working, etc. So yeah, just keep it on so that you know that script is working. There's no errors, and the green and red means your key is applied properly. Show XAB, show target, show XABC, show ratios. These are similar settings as per auto harmonic patterns ultimate. You see that you can yeah, it will show the targets. You can disable the targets, so you can see the labels of its ABCD and all. But also you can the fills, you can actually disable the fills for these. The show ratios is by default disabled. You can enable it. If you enable show ratios, it will also do the joining of these lines, right? And it will also fill these lines. Okay, alerts again, these are different types of alerts. You can enable and disable any of them individually. It's also documented in the settings guide, and you can add a custom tag to any of these alerts as well. So it will appear in the alerts. Alerts format also is available in the description. It is a complete JSON format which you can use in the trading boards and all. It's easier to interpret the values, or it's easier to interpret the messages and all. Okay, and that's about the settings and a few key differences which you need to be mindful between the ASPU, autonomic projections, and autonomic patterns is that there's a slight difference in the logic of PRZ calculation. In auto-harmonic patterns ultimate, we calculate the PRZ solely based on XAD, but here it's based on XAD and BCD. So you may see slight differences between the patterns between these two, but that's okay, and that's expected as well. And as per using the script, how do we use the script? Actually, many times people have asked me with respect to autohomic patterns that it hits the stop and again goes back and creates a new pattern and keeps happening again and again. So you can actually, this autoharmonic projections ultimate can help you anticipate what all patterns are possibly coming ahead. So, if you think that if you take the trade here, you know that if it hits the stop, there may be further patterns coming up here. So it will help you anticipate this information, and you can. It's actually good to use in combination with auto harmonic patterns ultimate, where you can track the status and track the trading status and targets and stop levels and all. Here in this one, that we don't provide stop level is there, but it's not really a stop. It's actually just to remove the keep the pattern in the drawing on the screen and with that to remove and all. So this is also not a target. It's just a status tracking tool, actually status tracking level to say that the pattern, the PRZ is successful or failure. So yeah, so we can actually this mainly helps in anticipating the patterns, what patterns can come, etc. And also you can use it in with other other indicators. These PRZ zones can also act as potential resistance levels or support levels. So this you can use in combination with other scripts to get better entries and better trading signals. And I think that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions. And my time is almost running out, another 1 minute to go. And hope you enjoyed this video and hope you find this indicator useful. Thanks very much. Have a good day. Bye.